What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is exciting because we are finally going to get to installing the AEM CD7 Carbon Dash in the Evo 8. We've got the Evo behind us, so we're going to go ahead and jump in. I'm going to show you one last look of what the OEM Dash that he has looks like now before we rip it apart. So let's jump in. Alright guys, so this is what his OEM Dash looks like right now. He does have a gauge on the steering wheel column. So we're going to be taking that off. We're going to be taking off all of these gauges as well and putting the stock liner back in because we don't need them. The Dash does it all. So let's go ahead and take all this out. Alright guys, so the first two screws that you have to get off are going to be right up here. So we're going to go ahead and take those off real quick. Alright, so we're going to put this in the back seat until further needed. Now, looks like we got 3 screws holding this baby in, so we're going to get those out. So we got the old Dash out. It'd be a lot easier if we didn't have this boost gauge here, but we ended up taking out the middle part here, guys, so that way we have more space to pull it off to the side. So that's out. Not putting that one back in for sure. Now the next few steps is going to be placing the CD7 Dash, kind of mocking up where it's gonna go, as well as getting all the wiring done. So we'll take you step by step on how to do that, guys. Alright guys, so now that we've got the OEM ones kind of tucked behind here, getting out of the way, we're going to go ahead and put in the wiring harness that AEM provides for us that I've showed you before in the past. This is just a plug and play, so we're going to go ahead and wire it up. It does give you the wires for the turn signals, but because the Evo is going to be mostly a track car, we're not even going to worry about those right now. So we're going to go ahead and wire this all the way through to the glove box where we have the ECU. Alright, so this is where we're going to have the Dash mounted, right about here. Again, we're not using these. This is for the turn signals. The Evo is going to be a track car, so we're not worried about the turn signals too much right now. So this is where it's going to plug in. So now the next step is, I believe, putting and mounting the Dash itself. So let's go ahead and mock this up and see how it's going to fit. The Dash that we got, obviously, is from AEM. It's the CD7 Carbon Dash. This case that comes around it, we got from Mako Motorsports. We did have to wait quite a while to get it in, but it's totally worth it. It mocks up and mounts in the back perfectly. So I'm super excited for this. So we're going to go ahead and plug it, and we'll get going. Also on the back, we have to plug this in now. We got to plug this in. This is an extension basically to the ECU. So we're going to go ahead and plug that in now so we don't have to deal with that later.
Yeah, whatever. It's not working.
Fits like a glove.
That is sweet.
You like it? That looks awesome. Alright, we don't even have the carbon outlay on there yet. We don't have any of the bolts in, but look how perfect that fits. It is such a simple plug and play. I freaking love it. Alright, we're going to bolt everything up and put everything back so you guys can get a kind of final dash look before we start turning things on. Alright. Alright guys, so we decided to change the routing of the extension for the plug to plug it into the computer. So it's now down in here, as you can see. That hole was designed originally from the guy we bought the Evo from. He had a light there that would turn on when the second fuel pump would turn on. So we obviously don't need that light. If you caught the last video, we took off that second fuel pump in the back because it was too much pressure for the surge tank. So we don't need that light. So now we have that little perfect size spot for that little connector. How cool is that? Boom. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and finish putting the overlay back on and putting all this back on, and then we'll give you a final look at what it looks like. Alright guys, so we've got the CD7 Carbon Dash officially in the Evo. It looks amazing. So much better than the OEM. It's huge. I'm excited to turn it on for the first time. So to do that, you do have to plug it in down low. Excuse the wires down here, guys. We are still, we just finished wiring up the extra 4 injectors for the 8 injector setup, but this is the plug that you need to focus on. This is from the back of the dash, and we're just going to plug it in to this one down there, which I can't do with one hand. Can you hold that, please? Yep. So this is going to go right into this. It's plug and play, AEM net, goes right in, clicks. I just heard some movement. That's all we need for the dash to turn on. So let's see if it worked and see how we did. Ooh, she is pretty. Oh, too much power. Nice. Apparently it's reading that it has 105 PSI right now. Not entirely sure why that is. That could have been a clerical error.
Weird.
That's a little weird. So on the AEM dash right now, you can see at the very bottom it says too much power, 105 PSI, and the boost is reading off the chart. That's kind of wonky right now just because the car isn't on. Again, we have the mechanical fuel pump is out, currently being fixed up at Aeromotive, but that is what the dash is going to look like. In just a few minutes, we're going to put everything back together so that way you guys can see all the numbers running. I am super excited for this dash. Can you click through the screens for me so they can see the different screens? So it's going to show you at the bottom the different lap times. If you wanted to do lap for the VDM and the GPS and whatnot, you can do that. There you go. This is Brad's favorite screen because it just shows everything all on the one, but you can also see that the PSI is the same as the idle position at the bottom. So the too much power at the bottom is it's a personal characteristic that you guys can add to your CD7 Dash. It's so customizable. It's pretty awesome. That's just one of the small mods that we did before we even turned it on for the first time, just because we wanted to play with it. It's so fun. So we're going to go ahead and do a couple more unique characteristics to this before we start turning on the car and showing you everything this thing can do. So this is back to the main screen where it says the too much power. The cool thing about the AEM Dash that I didn't really know is that all of the numbers, like where the boost is, everything is customizable. We are going to have to change the numbers on the boosts. We're going to change a bunch of things. This car is going to be making way more than 30 pounds of boost on average, so we're going to have to change that and make it at least up to 50, 55, depending on how saucy we want to get. The colors can all be interchanged. The needles can be changed. It's super cool how many different things you can do with this dash. It's limitless. It's freaking awesome. It's such a big display. It's so much to look at, and I cannot wait to see this car driving at night and having it lit up. It's gonna look so cool. Alright guys, so we finally got the Aeromotive mechanical fuel pump back in the Evo. Super happy about that. We have no leaks. Nothing is wrong with the car now. We did do a little bit more different of the dash. So we're going to go ahead and show you how we upload it from the laptop straight to the dash in the car. We've already got it pulled up, so now we're just going to go ahead and upload it. So let's take a look. Alright guys, so from this main screen where you see all of your screens, you're going to go ahead and hit File, and then you're going to go down to Upload to Display, or F7 on the keyboard. And then it's going to pop up a little box right there, and all you're going to have to do is hit Upload. And it's uploading, just like that. You'll see a little bit of a movement on the dash right there. And it's eventually going to say Upload completed successfully on there, and it'll say it on the dash. So then you hit OK or close, and it's done. So now we turn on the car after we unplug it from our little setup down there, which we don't have the screws in that yet, but and now it loaded it right there. So there we go again. Changed it up just a little bit on that screen. Changed it a little bit there, so we kind of included on the very bottom right there, it shows kind of like a DRAGY setup. So it's going to be really cool with the GPS when we install the VDM. And then we've got that setup, which is his favorite screen still. And back to the main. So we're going to go ahead and start the car for you so you guys can see all the numbers moving. It's kind of cool. Super excited. I'm going to go on the outside first so you guys can get the startup of the car. Alright guys, so like I said before, we do have the mechanical fuel pump back in the car. Everything else is good. There are no leaks yet that we know of, but it is an Evo, so you never know. So we're going to go ahead and start the car, and we'll go from there. Ready when you are. Go to the next screen. This is the next screen where we're going to be able to map it at the bottom with the DRAGY. Kind of like a DRAGY setup down there. And we'll do that with the VDM in our next video. This is the his favorite screen coming up right here where it shows a bunch of everything. And it's super weird when we hit the throttle. If you watch the map PSI at the top, it kind of goes down. It's really weird.